Hello, everyone, and welcome to another week of This Week in Eorzea. Thank you so much for joining us. With me, as always, is the exceptionally talented, highly motivated Pyra. Thank you for
Highly
joining
motivated?
me.
Who are you talking about? Hello.
Hi. We've got some Final Fantasy news to go over today. Nothing game-shattering, but there's some updates that we were expecting, some we weren't. So let's get into it. Let's get into it.
Let's do it.
Breaking news. Dun, dun, dun. We knew this was coming up. We just didn't know when. Letter from the producer live has been announced. So this is Friday, February 7th at 3 a.m. Pacific. Yay.
I'm so not ready to. I'm like, do I wake up at 6 a.m. Eastern to catch this, or do I catch it in post?
Yeah. So again, this is the presentation slides always include Japanese and English, but the presentation audio will be Japanese only. So if you do decide you want to wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning to catch this, keep in mind that nothing will be in English. You will just be reading the information off the slides. Unless you go to like the Final Fantasy XIV Discord, and they usually have a live translation posted there, so you can kind of get an idea of what Yoshi's saying. This live will showcase the new additions coming in patch 7 too, so it'll give us kind of a time frame of what to look forward to for the next like 3 or so months. Yeah. We knew it was coming. This live letter will kind of set the stage for what's going on in the next like half a year for Final Fantasy XIV. We know that 7.2 and 7.3 are the only patches coming out in 2025. So fingers crossed that we're going to get some really, really awesome news, is all I can say about that. You can watch on YouTube, you can watch on Twitch, or you can watch on the Japanese social media platform, Nico. Yeah. What are you wanting to see in this? Do you have I really want to see this in the live letter?
So yes, I'm actually most curious. Before I even pull out what I'm most curious about, there was a Reddit translator for the Stroll with Yoshi P that took place last week, and Yoshi P actually did confirm certain things that are happening in 7.2, regardless of if they're going to be part 1 or part 2, which I know the next live letter is just about part 1. That includes field exploration, cosmic exploration, the next chapter of the Arcadian Raid series, and that was it for like the big changes as far as that. I'm most excited, honestly, for the next field exploration. Field exploration. Even though it's not my favorite piece of content in game currently, it's historically not been my favorite. I'm excited to see where they're taking it, because I feel like it's such a big blank canvas that they can really like do what they've done with like Baja before, or Eureka, or like change it up. So that's kind of what I'm most excited for, which is funny. You'd maybe expect me to say Arcadian, which I'm also very excited for.
Well, I think the field exploration's main draw right now is there hasn't been equivocal content in a long time. I think you're interested in it because you miss it. Like
Stockholm syndrome.
As crazy as that sounds, it's been so long. Even people who never really cared for it is kind of like, you know what? I could really go for some of that right about now.
Right. More stuff where the community can get in, regardless of like if you're hardcore or midcore, whatever, or casual. It's very like open canvas, which I'm excited for. You okay?
It startled me. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, we're interested to see what that's all about. So stay tuned. Well, not this coming Friday, but next Friday. The Valentine's Day event starting February 3rd at 12 a.m. to February 17th at 7 a.m. 6:59 a.m.
Technicality.
That 1 minute is very important. Let's share. I've got so many screens up.
I'm excited to see this because I was at work all day, really busy, so I haven't even gotten to this yet today.
Yeah, I haven't seen it myself. So, we know it's starting. Requirements level 15. Astrid is the go-to. Ingridania, as always. We get an emote and an item. So a bouquet emote. And a poster with the last year's emote on it. Yeah.
Cute. I actually really like that emote. I don't know when I would use it, besides for kind of gaggy, gag type of things, jokes.
Right.
But it's fun. It's different.
I mean, yeah, I have nothing against it. It's a nice little emote. It's showing that we can display things in our hands. So maybe one day when we go to hand something over, we'll actually hand something over.
I think this was also a necessity after they gave Machinist the bouquet for the map weapon. They're like, we did all the work to put the bouquet in the game. We need to use it more than once.
That's fair. So that's all the information we have. That's those are the event items. I don't know how some creators created a whole video on that. But there you have it. We can't even see the emote in action. Like, I don't know if there's a pulling out of the bouquet that happens, but so far that is all we have. And Black Milk Clothing and Final Fantasy XIV collab. I looked into this. This is another Oceania event. This is a online clothing retailer in Australia.
I think you can buy it anywhere though?
Yeah, just I would look at shipping costs because getting things shipped to North America from Oceania can be quite expensive. So they have some Eorzea themed clothing items, which I mean we're always saying we want. I could never wear any, but
I can maybe get away with the first one, maybe.
I think the Heidelin map on a dress is a little bit busy. I mean, I'm not a fashionista, but a little bit busy. It's and is this supposed to be like a Y'shtola dress? I don't even know.
So, do you see the design? It's all job stones. Or job icons. So if you zoom in, there's like Dragoon and everything up through Pictomancer and Viper. Like every single job icon is in the fabric of this dress, and I adore it. I don't know if I could pull it off, but I want to.
So this merchandise will be available Monday, February 3rd, exclusively on their website. I did click on the website. It did say it's in Australia, so just be mindful of maybe how much it might cost to ship to you. But I'd be very surprised, like you said, if they didn't do international shipping.
They definitely do, I would think, because I know in the United States it's like it automatically translates to US dollars. Another thing as well, this isn't their full catalog, so I believe there will be 12 items total. And if you I think it's a matter of signing up through their website, through the link that is posted on the Lodestone, where you can sign up to see what the lookbook is in advance of the sale, like in advance of the items going live.
Oh, so the Heidelin map has pants.
Has pants? What do you mean it has pants?
I don't know why it didn't screen share that. Let's try this again. It has pants. They make the dress as pants.
They have pants. So if you don't like a dress, because there was a lot of dresses there and skirts.
Yeah, so essentially if you go to their website, you can sign up. The lookbook or the full feature catalog is available on January 29th.
I can only imagine this is going to be sold out within minutes, this collection.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Their prices too, so they look like a designer brand. Their prices for US dollars typically go up to like 100, maybe like 160 if you're getting like a full jacket, which is like a bit more intricate. That's not a bad price point for like designer collab clothing, I think. It's still a lot.
$101 for pants. Okay. It's a little bit out of my range.
I know.
For those who have been looking.
Mine too.
For those who have been looking. There you have it. Okay. And what else? Mog Station sale. Still up. Last days though, so make sure you take advantage of that if you mean to. Free logging campaign as well, ending very soon on the 6th. So take advantage of that if you mean to. Is that everything for news? My word.
My word.
My word.
Yeah, I think we're still at that crossroads where we're getting some of this new information for like these collabs now and like little special events, but overall, like, we always get that weird quiet time before the next live letter, I think. Like, and I think we're kind of coming up on that. What do you think, Debbie?
Yeah, I mean, they don't really want to take away the thunder, so to speak.
Yeah.
So anything big and worthy of news, they're going to hold on to deliver it at that sort of event. So, the other thing I am waiting with bated breath to hear, and we probably should soon, is the location of the fan fests this year. Because we know Yoshi is focused on them and getting them started, and part of that is very early on announcing the venue so they can start getting like ticket sales and stuff going. So
yeah,
I'd be very surprised if February ends and we don't have those venue locations mentioned. I am trying to desperately get a hold of Yoshi P to beg him on bended knee to make the North American Fan Fest in Canada. So
good luck.
Hey, there are a number of very good reasons why I think Canada should hold it.
I would gladly... Oh gosh, this is going to sound terrible. I would gladly go to Canada before Las Vegas any day of my life, and I've never been to Vegas. But I doubt they feel the same way.
Listen, after the disaster that was the fallout of last year's Fan Fest in Vegas, I think they should be looking for a new venue.
I mean, East Coast is also pretty good. You know, Boston got the convention center. They go for PAX. Biased. Completely biased. Or New York City? Jamming?
Okay, I need to mute that. Okay. So, next on the agenda... What aren't we talking about? I need to get this out of the way. I need to take a little bit of a rant here and get this out of the way. What aren't we talking about this week? We are not talking about the Final Fantasy XIV official forums. Listen, I kind of touted it a little bit last week and I take all of it back. It's been 1 week and I've completely changed my mind. 1, I can't get on it at all on mobile. 2, it still won't accept which character I designate, and you have to designate a character before it'll let you even view the forums, and I've done that like 26 times, and it still won't take. 3, the official forums are garbage. So, taking all of it back, I'm not talking about it anymore. Pyra, do you have any words to say about the Final Fantasy XIV official forums?
No holds barred. You just kind of like went You went to old Debbie a week ago and just like gave her the elbow.
Yeah,
People's elbows. None of this. Personally, I never really used them. I'm just a creature of habit. Social media and YouTube is usually where I find my news, and sometimes Reddit. So I think those, if you're still craving that forum, I think Reddit's a good place to do it, or social.
I might, yeah, because I can log into Reddit.
And mobile is not bad. Reddit mobile is not bad. It's not as
there's an app for that.
There is an app for that.
Oh my words. Okay. Hot topic. We're getting this out of the way because this isn't our feature this week. Hot topic is, after weeks of anticipation, Yoshi P finally made an official statement on the third-party player scope add-on that was breaching privacy. But he didn't do it on Lodestone. Or any sort of Final Fantasy XIV site. It didn't get featured in the announcement section. It was hidden. Gaming news sites linked to an official forum post that he made on the topic.
This is why you're bad at Force.
And I tried to pull it up, and it wouldn't even pull it up on my screen. So were you able to find it?
Let me see if the link that I use is gonna work for me. Yes, it's working for me. I can pop it up if that.
Okay.
If that is easier. All right. Hopefully, you all see it. Do you see?
Yes.
Perfect. Yeah. So I can kind of give a TLDR unless you wanted to go over
summarize it. After all of this time, all of this waiting, Yoshi P finally makes a somewhat official statement on it, and what is it he has to tell us?
So, 3 major points. First, the player scope tool in conversation. They have requested that the tool be removed and deleted. They are pursuing legal action. And then they also are telling people, hey, don't use these third-party tools. We don't like them. The only other addition, I guess 4th piece of additional information, is they are reassuring people that any of your private personal information, including your address, payment information, like your actual sensitive personal information, is not possible to access using these third-party tools. That's kind of all we got out of this, really. Hey, don't do it. We're going to yell at the guy who did it. Also, they can't steal your credit card.
I mean, is this a little underwhelming? To me, it feels a little bit underwhelming, but he's kind of like, he doesn't want to give it any more attention, I feel like. It's like, someone took advantage of that thing we told you not to use. So, you all are idiots.
God. I would ask you, do you feel like this is enough? Do you feel like this, are you satisfied with this response? After all these weeks and all this speculation, are you satisfied with this as a result?
I feel no. And here's why. So there's a paragraph here where he says, we strive to offer and maintain a safe environment for our players, which is why we ask everyone to refrain from using third-party tools. We also ask that players do not share information about third-party tools, such as details about their installation methods, or take any other actions to assist in their dissemination. So I feel like that's almost a slap on the wrist to all the creators who did put out videos and large discussions on this, telling people, look, don't even talk about it. And I think that's kind of just sweeping it all back under the rug, but now there's a big lumpy rug and people are kind of staring at the big lumpy rug going, okay, but you know, we were talking about it, so maybe we can talk about it before we sweep it away. I get it. It also says we will continue to take a firm stance against their usage, and we're not seeing a firm stance. We're just seeing that the person who may have created it, they're pursuing legal action against, but what about everyone else who may have downloaded and installed it? What about everyone who violated your requests and not disseminated information and like I don't know. It feels very incomplete to me.
I find two big gaps here. The first one being there is no mention, resolution, anything about an action plan to prevent the same issue from happening again.
Right.
Like, if nothing else, this third-party tool, like, clearly it found the plot holes in the new block system that Dawntrail introduced. That, I think, is a major... like, that is showing a significant gap, whether it's major or not is subjective, but that is showing a significant gap in how they created a new thing. This response is like, okay, good, they're yelling at this one person who created it. They're not addressing what the action plan is going forward so that this doesn't happen again, which I find kind of cruddy. Like, I feel gross about it still. Like, I feel like a lot of people still have valid stalking concerns, and this doesn't even address it, besides them saying that they don't take a firm stance, which leads to like my second problem that I have with this. And I think I watched a little bit of Aetherite Radio's live stream podcast yesterday through Gamerscape, and they never really taken a they say they take a firm stance on third-party tools, but they haven't. And now it's like I wouldn't want to be in their shoes, but they're like left with a tough decision. Like, do they actually take a firm stance and do something about it, or do they just continue saying that they do? And really, there's no evidence to back that they have. Like, sometimes they've gone with a ban hammer and banned people in the past. Sometimes they've just gone months or years without banning anybody. Like, it feels like there's a lot left to be said from this.
All right, so you know how you're on a maybe you guys don't. Maybe this is a Canadian experience. So you're on a plane, and the stewardess and stewards give like a safety demonstration in case anything bad were to happen on the flight. And then they repeat the safety demonstration in French, which is our second official language. But it always feels like maybe the French speakers are getting more information because it takes twice as long. I'm looking at this, and this is on the English forums. I'm wondering if we went to the Japanese forums, if maybe there was a completely different message posted, or conversely, maybe they didn't feel the need to post it on the Japanese forums at all. So I definitely would like to enlist or find someone maybe who speaks Japanese who has done this looking into to see if the message was the same on both sides. Because this still feels like Daddy Yoshi is mad at North America. And this is something he would say to a kid he's not really interested in at the moment. He's like, yeah, you guys messed up and got hurt. What do you want me to do about it?
Yeah. That's an interesting point. I'd like to hear if there was any, like, is this just in English? Is this just to the English forums community? Or is this like all over? Because it feels like it's missing something. Like, I'm happy to hear that they're addressing this one person, and I'm actually really happy to hear. I didn't even think about like personal information, like credit card or address. I didn't even think that was a possibility. It's good that that's reiterated that it's not. Like, that does make me feel a little better. But I don't know. I feel like we maybe could have heard a little bit more about like an action plan forward or something. I wonder if they heard more, or if Yoshi's just mad at us.
Right? Yeah. I can't shake that feeling. And then they go and put out a clothing line for Australia. I feel like we're on the poop list. So maybe it's just me. Okay. So that was our hot topic. Maybe we might hear more again in the future. Maybe it's not done, but well. Okay, on to some brighter news. The tip of the week. The tip of the week. Listen, we've got a whole host of our favorite Final Fantasy XIV sites here that we're going to share with you, just because of how much help they can give you in the game. So if you're a new player, maybe you're finally getting into some crafting and gathering and you haven't before, maybe you're trying to buckle down to do some savage or extreme content and you want to take a look at your gear, we've got some sites that will help you really get into the nitty-gritty of the game. I want to preface first that each one of these is really a labor of love. And it is crazy how much work went into some of these sites, and just how useful they are. Yeah, we've got a mix here of kind of crafting, gathering, money making / useful information apps. So let's get on it. I'm going to go in no particular order. So, here we go in absolutely no particular order. Lulu's tools. All the links for these, by the way, will be in the description. So if you see a site you haven't known about and want to use, absolutely, those links will be there. So Lulu's Tools is an amazing ocean fishing reference. So if you've been on a boat and you've heard people asking what bait to use, this is where they're getting that information. It tells you there's a boat starting in 58 seconds that we're missing right now. So, okay, that's not true. You have 15 minutes from the start of a boat to get signed up for the boat, or you will miss it. But it tells you where the route will take you, what the best bait is to catch a spectral, what bait you will use to catch an intuition fish, and you can divide it up into high value fish or time sensitive fish or all fish. But these, generally speaking, are the highest value fish during a spectral current and the baits you require to catch them. And whether you can triple hook, and how much might land on a triple hook. Just the penultimate ocean fishing reference. I go over information on how to use this in a video I created on ocean fishing specifically. But here it is in all of its glory.
This is wild. I've never seen this one before, truthfully. No, I'm not. Like, I was pretty good into ocean fishing when it came out, and then I kind of fell off because I'm not huge into fishing in general. But like this will kind of help me like fill that confidence gap that I lack with ocean fishing on my own. Because it was also better when I could go in with friends and they knew what they were doing, and they could tell me use this bait. But no, this is really cool.
And it does let you know in advance if there's going to be an achievement available on that. So there are some ocean fishing achievements, like what did balloons do to you? It will let you know the best boat to catch that or to complete that on is in 10 hours. So you can make those preparations as well. And it has been updated to include all the Ruby routes as well. So. Okay. Do we want to do back and forth, or should I do another one?
You can go back and forth. In also no particular order. This one that I have next is FFXIV directory. So FFXIV directory, we're both on FFXIV directory as well as This Week in Eorzea. This is a really cool website of just a mix of everything. So there are creators on here. There are, oh boy, there's so many things. Different groups for raiding, different groups for everything, crafting and gathering. Just a really cool place to find content creators, resources, and more. Kind of like a Yellow Pages. Well, I don't know if you guys in Canada
That's a
have
very
Yellow Pages.
old reference.
I know it's a very old. I know I'm ancient. Okay, that's besides the point. 411. That's also probably like ancient news, but your one-stop shop to kind of find a bunch of different websites. Some of these that we're talking about may even be on here. It also kind of shows some of the content creators, of course, like the bigger content creators in the space. But really cool if you're trying to find some different specific resources and you don't know where to look. This is a good place to start.
Awesome. Okay, my next one here is probably one most people have heard of but may not have used. Garland Tools does so much. This site does amazing heavy lifting here. So Garland data you can go into. It will give you information on pretty much everything that exists in the game. But the one that really helps out crafters and gatherers is Garland Bell. So you can select what patches you want to gather from, what type of gatherer you are, whether you want unspoiled, ephemeral, or legendary nodes, and it will pop them all up on an easy timeline and let you know when they can be gathered and what can be gathered right now. So for another 2 minutes and 10 seconds, you can gather this stuff at the bridges, and it just makes it so much easier. If you wanted to search for a particular thing, maybe you're trying to work on workshop stuff or whatever, you can search a particular item and it'll pop up all the times that it is available to gather. I do use this one a lot. I do use this one a lot. Yeah.
I feel like the notification one by itself is just so huge.
Notification.
And Garland, like the doot doot for like the time nodes.
Oh yeah. And I suppose I can show. So it will just give you all of the active nodes if you want it to as well. So it'll show you, like, these ones are all active for another 1 minute. These ones are 1 minute out. And these ones are 6 minutes, 12 minutes. So you can just go around and gather constantly. It will tell you exactly where to go to, like, never stop gathering.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do my next one. Is on the same crafting and gathering mindset. Is called Teamcraft. Teamcraft is super great if you're crafting / gathering with other people. I've used this so many times with, like, for instance, submarines for the FCs. So if my FC is trying to do a project, maybe we want to make walls for something, or maybe it's even like we're, I don't know, building something, like anything really in the game. You can use it. This is an old one that somebody in my FC made. You can make a list of what you want, kind of based off of a certain item, and then anybody can log in and check things off as you gather them. It doesn't even need to be a whole list. If you're able to contribute partial lists, you can do that, and it shows you a little bit of like how you can gather them, where you can gather them. This has some of the same tools as Garland Tools, but this is really good if you're using this in a collaborative space. If you're trying to gather and craft something with a friend or with your FC, just having kind of like a one-stop shop to keep everything organized so that you know what is needed to contribute. So
Really
kind
cool.
of fun little, yeah, it's pretty fun. Like it is neat seeing things visually. Like, I know I'm a visual person, and with some of these like crafts, like 758 crafts or you know, like multiple items gathering, it's good to like have everything organized. So especially if you're in an FC environment. Definitely, I think a must have.
Okay. The next one I have here is Eorzea collection. Now, this is your one-stop glam shop. It not only has a space where people can submit their glamours, and the reason why this is important to most people is because maybe you're hunting for a new glamour and you want some inspiration. There are ads, as you can see, unfortunately, but you can keep those on the DL. And you can just scroll through and see what other people have come up for with glams. You can even narrow it down if you want tank glams. If you want a specific item to see how people are using it, you can apply those filters and it will only show you what you're looking for. The other thing it does well is gear sets. So it will show you an entire like dungeon gear set or raid gear set that you can click on and see each piece individually. You can also switch how it looks on male or female. And undyed and dyed. So it can show you in advance how it to slot dies, in case you want to know that before you go to the bother of picking it up. It tells you how to obtain it. If you're just kind of browsing and you see something you really like and you don't know how to get it, it will tell you how to get it. It has chocobo glamours. So it'll show you all the saddles and everything. Like some people glam up their chocobo just crazy. So you can take a look and it will tell you, like, say you see one of these things and you're like, I have no idea what barding that even is. You can click on it and it will tell you where it is or what it is. So yeah, just it is the glams go-to website. I don't even know what else to say. It is just the glam website.
I haven't checked this out in a while, and I didn't even know about like the dual dye channel situation. Well, I probably haven't checked it out since Shadowbringers, or Endwalker. I don't think I've checked it out since Dawn Trail launch, so that's really cool. I didn't know it even had that many updates, honestly.
Just a crazy amount of work to go into it, like.
And those two, like, I would want to add to that a little bit. If you're someone who loves to share your glams with people, you can upload yours too. Like, that's one of the sites that are like fully, like, some of the sites we looked at, I think, are kind of uploaded. You can only upload if you're like an editor or somebody that like works for the site. But I think Eorzea collection, you have full reign to upload any glams that you have if you want to share them.
Yeah, absolutely. You just need to log in and create your account, and then you have access to it. Do I need to go again?
I got a couple more.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, so my next one, it is sightseeing log paintings. This one's a cute one that I just stumbled across recently. Somebody has gone through all except for Dawn Trail, at least through Endwalker, all of the sightseeing logs paintings and uploaded them here. If they also like some sightseeing help, but if you're like me and you want to put paintings on your your house or your like FC house, but you don't know what they look like because they're like too tiny in the preview, this is a good way to find both the names and what they look like. It's still a little small, but this is definitely a lot more detail than you will get, and you can even like zoom in or like probably open, maybe not, but you can like zoom in, but you can at least kind of see what everything looks like in the names, which sometimes if I'm going through my house, I'm looking for more aesthetic. Like, I don't really care what zone it's from as long as it like fits a certain vibe. So this is kind of like a cool place to look at some of the artwork, and then maybe you can pick out certain ones that you want to find out how to get in game. Like, this one might be good for Valentine's Day because it's the little heart-shaped island in a sea of clouds. Yeah. And it'll also tell you kind of like where they're located, or Ablathia's spine. Like, it'll show you kind of where everything's located. So kind of a really cool, cool one.
I really didn't buy any of those paintings, but there are a few really nice ones.
There are some, like, I'm always going to be a sucker for Shadowbringers, aesthetic everything. And it's really cool. Like, even some of these in the same area, like, this is all Lakeland, but, like, some of them have, like, the tiny variances, and I'm like, oh, I would totally prefer, like, Fort Job versus, like, the Rookery kind of thing. So it is cool, like, seeing what's available before buying a bunch of paintings and hoping that one of them is, like, your favorite.
That's fair. That's fair. Yeah. Okay, on the same theme, my next one is Final Fantasy XIV Housing. So this allows you to preview furnishings, external, internal, see what they look like, see how to make them. Just if you're decorating your house and you're looking for a little something, ignore the ad.
I was like, wow, the graphics really got updated.
Yeah, I love going on this one and seeing what the options are, because there isn't really a good way to preview all of them yet in game, especially when it comes to exteriors. At least I find there isn't a really good way. Yeah. Shows you all the rugs, shows you what you need to make them. I think it will show you, if you click on it, also, recipe details or selling or purchasing information. Yeah. And it's got everything you need for housing.
Truly one of the classics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A Gubu rug.
Gubu. I got one last one. And it wouldn't be a regular night if I didn't talk about something that could be associated with raiding. The balance. The balance. I've used the balance mostly through their Discord community, I will have to say. However, they do have a website as well. Pretty much just resources for every job. So even if you're not a raider and you just want to get better at a certain role, at a certain class, you have guides and resources right here. One thing that I like about the Discord as well, which is kind of part of this, is you can, like, talk to people in those, like, it's kind of like a forum space to talk about specific things. So if I'm, for instance, a black mage main, I can go look at, their channels over there, talk to people who are black mages, probably way better than I'll ever be, and you can kind of get, like, real-time, like, updates and help. That's another thing too, is help. Sometimes, even if you're not trying to, like, be a super optimizer raider, like, if you're like, God, I wish, I could figure out this class just a little bit better, it's a good tool and resource to just kind of look at all of the different classes in the game, and really help. I found that it helps kind of, like, alleviate some of that anxiety about, like, how to play certain classes, especially if it's out of your comfort zone. Like, for instance, melee would be for me. They're good resources to use to just kind of better your awareness of the classes, and just find good tools and resources to get even better.
Yeah, and I mean, from the casual perspective, I want to say this: don't feel like it's an obligation. Like, you are not obligated when playing an MMO to look up guides on how to play your classes if you're just playing casual content. But if you feel the need to want to work on things like your rotation, getting better, prepping for harder content, this is definitely a good resource. Not mandatory, but it is a good resource for people willing to put in the time and effort to get better at the game.
Absolutely. I find it's just, for me, even before I started raiding, I find that it's a good tool to just kind of, like, if I feel stuck, like I feel like something's missing, like, and I want to get better at it, it just helps kind of clear up some of that information.
Absolutely. Okay. This next one, it really helps with my OCD. So this one is Final Fantasy XIV Collect. You can sign into it with your actual in-game character, and it tracks things for you. So some things automatically track, some things you have to track yourself. Mounts, for example, will automatically track. So it tells you which ones you have. You can sort them by whether you have it, whether you want to show only the ones you're missing, only the ones you own. It shows you how much. So I've got 62% of all mounts, which is kind of scary. Kind of scary. I've got 74% of all minions, also kind of scary. Things like hairstyles and orchestrion roles you do have to track yourself. So it allows you to kind of get rid of them once you have them. So this will show the ones that I am missing. I have currently 62% of hairstyles. If I were to go and pick one of these up, then I would just mark it as complete, and then it would be checked off on my character's account. So kind of as a combination of automation and your own input, you can keep track of everything in the game. Emotes. So I've got roughly 60% of emotes. Just a really fun site. I love knowing how much of what I have and what I need. And it also tells you how many people who are using the site own it as well. So you know whether it's exceptionally rare or not, what patch it came out in, and if you click on it, it will also tell you how to get it. So the command, whether or not it's trainable, where you get it. So this is 50,000 MGP from the Gold Saucer. So just a really good check box marking site for Final Fantasy XIV. I love it. I absolutely love it.
I think one of my... Oh, sorry.
Yeah. Oh, that was Final Fantasy XIV Collect. What were you saying?
Oh, I was just going to say, one of my favorite things is, like, as someone who likes to be, like, a collector of all the things and just try to, like, get different things or, like, be first on certain things, it's cool seeing, like, the statistics of, like, what's the percentage of people who have it? Because if it's, like, a low percentage, you feel like, ooh, I feel fancy. I feel exclusive.
Absolutely. So you can click show only the ones that are owned. And you can sort it by rarity.
Wow.
So the rarest mount I have is the Snow Streamer from the Twitch campaign that ran this past December. Only 0.7% of people own it.
I'm shocked.
So yeah, it's kind of nice to know. And then the Magic Parasol, 1.2%. I got it from the online store. It's one of those really cool information sites, just for fun. It doesn't provide a lot of information that you don't already know or couldn't get other places, but it's fun. Yeah. For other people, sorry, you were done now? Okay. For other people who are interested in making money, I can't not share Universalis. So it allows you to share data, but you don't have to. What it is used for is checking prices on items. So if I were to want to search for, how about a Figmental Weapon Coffer? I wanted to find out where I could buy it for the cheapest. You can choose what data center, what server you want to buy on. You can go all of America if you're willing to travel for it, and it will show you the server, the data center, and the current selling price. So right now, if I were to want to buy one, the cheapest Figmental Coffer I can find is 8.4 million, which is down considerably from where it was at, like, when it first came out. It was up past 12 million. Now it's down to 8. So now's a good time to buy them. But I mean, it can go as high as 18,
Ooh,
depending on whether or not you're on
ooh.
Dynamis, I guess. So, if you're willing to travel to save some money, this is a great site to use. Just phenomenal. I always check it when I'm making large purchases that are like the difference
Mhm.
between millions of gil. Like if something,
Same.
yeah, exactly. It's like if you're going to buy a new bedroom set or a very large TV or a computer, you kind of do a little bit of shopping around because it might save you a few $100s. Same thing here. If you're making a big enough purchase that it matters, always look it up here and save yourself some money. Yeah, I don't even know what else to say about it. That's all I use it for. It's all
It's
most people
great.
use it for. Yeah. Um, what's another one I have? This one is a really simple one. I'm gonna share it, and you guys are gonna see the value in it almost immediately for a very niche reason. Sightseeing log helper.
Hey.
All it does is if you're trying to complete your sightseeing log, it tells you what sightseeing nodes are up right now and what emote you need to do to unlock it. That's it. That's all it does,
Love
and
it.
it's worth its weight in gold. So it tells you the sightseeing number, so what log number it is. You can hide ones that are inactive, so it only shows the ones that are up right now. You can hide the ones that you finished. Again, it's another site where you can check them off as you get them. So it can remember based on cookies which ones you have and which ones you don't. So super duper niche and super duper important for what it does. Like, if you're trying to get your sightseeing complete, you need to visit. You need to visit it.
Sometimes simple's better. Like that is just perfect. Like that's everything you need for that one niche problem.
Absolutely. And so if you're looking, maybe number 5 is the only one you're missing, it will tell you it's up in 3 hours. So you know, okay, in 3 hours from now, I have to log into the game if I want to get it, or I have to wait until the next time it's available. And finally, I think we kind of both agreed that if you're Googling or looking for information on how to complete a quest in-game or how to get information on where an NPC is, the go-to site is Gamer Escape. So it does have some ads, but this is the go-to Final Fantasy XIV.
All the audio
Yeah.
is just coming through. Wow.
Listen, the site isn't great, but here's what you do. If you're looking for an NPC, you Google, of course, Final Fantasy XIV, like Geishel Green NPC, and there's 2 links that will pop up. There's a Final Fantasy XIV wiki one, and there's a Gamer Escape one. Click on the Gamer Escape one. That's all you need to know. It does have an option to go ad-free. You can tell because they make the ads really, really intrusive and give you a go ad-free button here. But listen, everything links back to itself. It does have links to ads. Sorry, different guides and stuff, but that's what I use it for. If someone asks me where to find something or where to pick up a quest or what level the quest is, this is where I go.
They're bought off too. One of my friends, kind of friends, mutual friends, is a writer for Gamer Escape. They work on they're known as the Rabid Wiki Wolverine. And everything you see in the 14 wiki, like they've probably had their hand in at one point or another, and they work their butts off to like provide so much for the community. I will have to say, knowing from hearing their experience, it is a really good site.
Absolutely. So that's my recommendation. Those are some of the sites I use pretty much on a semi-daily basis when I'm playing the game. Yeah. Anything we didn't mention that you would add, or?
That covered a lot. I mean, everything from crafting gathering to battle to casual, like those are pretty much all the sites that I use in one form or another anytime I'm looking for stuff.
Okay. Okay. Well, thank you so much for walking us through all of that. I am going to eat dinner, but then I'm going to put all these links in the description of the video, so check back in just a little bit if there's a site you want to visit. Highly recommend. What are you up to this week?
Question. This week is a little bit of everything. So this week we're gonna do some ultimate raids. We're gonna do some Fru. We're still raiding. Gonna probably have some community maps or something kind of chill this weekend.
Ooh.
And then yeah, we're doing some of that. And then my friend, we're helping people through Uwu. So we're taking people through their first ultimate, which we'll see how that goes.
Which people and when?
A couple friends, and it's open if you wanted to join. And Sunday.
Okay, I might.
I have 2 people that are brand new, never done Savager Ultimate, and they asked if they could get some help. So we're gathering some seasoned Ultimate people with some new people, and kind of doing a baby mode learning session.
Aw.
Not baby mode. That sounds bad. More like low pressure.
No. I like baby mode. I will join in on baby mode.
Yeah. So if you'd like to join, that's where we'll be.
Okay. For me, I am taking the day off tomorrow to work on some YouTube videos because I didn't get a chance to post anything last week for mental health issues. But this week I'm going to get some videos out, and then Wednesday, Thursday, Friday doing some streaming. So doing some Final Fantasy XIV during the week, and then maps on Friday evening. And just trying to get into the new routine of the new year. I've been doing really well. I've been posting life advice on a boat every day on Bluesky, so make sure you're checking me out there if you want a link to socials. And just trying to set some good habits. That's all I'm up to. I've got 3 classes left till I'm Omni everything, so that's still the goal, but...
So close!
Yeah. Okay, so thank you so much for joining me again. Thank you everyone who watched now and in the future. We'll be back next week, same time, same channel, for more Final Fantasy XIV news. Maybe something exciting will happen. You never know. Fingers crossed. And certainly once the live letter hits the following week, we'll have plenty to talk about, I am sure. So, thank you so much for joining me, Pyra. It is always a pleasure to have you here.
Likewise. Thank you, Debbie.
Yeah, take care, everyone. Love yourself as much as you love others, and we'll see you all in game. Bye.